Cody Rhodes saves Rey Mysterio from a package pile driver on SmackDown courtesy of Kevin Owens. Speaking of Mysterio, he has declared his entry into the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match. Tiffany Stratton defeats Bayley to retain the Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair is set for a return to WWE with a vignette airing last night on SmackDown. Solo Sikoa walks out on the new Bloodline. Is Jacob Fatu the new leader of the faction? Shawn Michaels is set for a major role at the upcoming Saturday Night's Main Event episode on NBC. Wade Barrett will be the replacement for Pat McAfee on Raw, with all of the Corey Graves situation still ongoing. Is Jade Cargill teasing that she knows who attacked her? We'll let you know the details on that. Victoria is spotted on SmackDown last night after signing a Legends deal with the company. The latest details on the Vince McMahon lawsuit involving former WWE employee Janelle Grant, and just when is SmackDown expected to return to a 2-hour format? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with Cody Rhodes making the save for a Hall of Famer last night on SmackDown. Now, SmackDown nearly saw the deranged Kevin Owens injure another top star with his banned package piledriver maneuver, but WWE Champion Cody Rhodes was once again there to stop him ahead of their championship match at the Royal Rumble. Now, SmackDown opened with Kevin Owens trying to convince Rey Mysterio that if he wins the Men's Royal Rumble match, he should choose to face for Owens' title, the stolen Winged Eagle Championship. Mysterio said he agreed, but only he agrees if Owens becomes the real champion by defeating Rhodes. Owens flew into a rage at these words and they brawled in the ring, leading to a match later on in the evening. Owens ultimately disappointed the hometown crowd by defeating Mysterio in San Diego. Following the match, Owens initially showed respect to the Hall of Famer before attacking him instead. He was positioning Mysterio for the package piledriver when a newly cleared Rhodes put a stop to it. The two men brawled in and out of the ring across the commentary area as security and WWE officials tried to break it up. Owens, of course, hit Rhodes with the package piledriver, a move he had never used before during his WWE career, at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. They will return to Saturday Night's Main Event on January 25th with a contract signing. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Now, speaking of Mysterio, as we spoke about just there, he has declared his entry into the Men's Royal Rumble match. Rey Mysterio opened SmackDown on Friday in his hometown of San Diego, California, and formally declared for the Men's Royal Rumble. Of course, Mysterio famously won the 2006 match after being the second entrant. He set a record at the time by lasting 62 minutes. Mysterio's happy homecoming was interrupted by Kevin Owens, who came out holding the Winged Eagle Championship that he took from undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night's Main Event after laying the champion out with a package piledriver. But now Mysterio is in the Rumble match. Tiffany Stratton is still the Women's Champion. She defeated Bayley in the first defense of her Women's Championship in the main event of SmackDown last night. Stratton won the title earlier this month when she cashed in her Money in the Bank contract on Nia Jax, betraying her friend after helping her retain the title over Naomi. Last week, Bayley earned the first opportunity at Stratton's title reign with a four-way win against Jax, Naomi, and her Women's Tag Team Championship partner, Bianca Belair. It was also an opportunity for Bayley to avenge her own title loss to Jax at SummerSlam last year, during which Stratton interfered to help Jax win, but it would ultimately turn out to be a successful first defense for the champion instead. The match started much as it would go on, with Bayley and Stratton exchanging maneuvers and offense to tell the tale of a calculated veteran working against the younger athlete. Another of Bayley's adversaries, former NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, was in attendance for the title match. With the action spilling to the outside, she took a moment to jeer towards Perez. She dumped Stratton back in the ring, hitting an elbow drop from the top rope only for a near fall, and cinching in a crossface akin to the bank statement. Bayley sought the Rose Plant finish to finish things off in the closing stretch, only for Stratton to escape the move and land the prettiest moonsault ever to get the clean winning pinfall. Now, there have been rumours, haven't there, about Tiffany Stratton possibly facing off against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and we now have the latest details on her return. A major update has emerged on the WWE return of 14-time Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, who has been out for over a year due to injury. Flair suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus in December of 2023, and has since been documenting her recovery on social media. In a big update, WWE aired a video on last night's SmackDown hyping up Flair's return, suggesting it'll be coming in the not too distant future. Now, there wasn't an exact time frame or date revealed. Now, one speculated direction for Charlotte Flair heading into WrestleMania this year is a potential Women's Championship match against Tiffany Stratton, which could put Flair in contention to win either the Women's Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber to earn that title shot. Now, Solo Sikoa, just what's going on with the new Bloodline? Well, there are a lot of plans that are reportedly in flux for the faction. Now, last night's show was advertised to feature Solo Sikoa's first appearance since his loss to Roman Reigns in the Tribal Combat match on the January 6th Netflix premiere episode of Monday Night Raw. The Sikoa segment kicked off as a match between Jimmy Uso and Carmelo Hayes, which was interrupted by Sikoa's Bloodline teammates Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. Tonga and Fatu initially targeted Uso, but then attacked Hayes as well before Sikoa came out to join them in the ring. However, as Sikoa was seemingly about to give his first comment since the aforementioned loss to Reigns, he instead opted not to say anything and walked away through the crowd. Jacob Fatu then got on the mic and said he's just getting started with his domination of WWE. LA Knight then tried to attack Fatu and Tonga from behind and was shortly thereafter joined by Braun Strowman, seemingly setting up Fatu and Tonga versus Knight and Strowman in a tag team match for some point in the near future. However, this seemingly isn't how things were originally planned to go. According to WrestleVotes, the Sikoa plans were a, quote, hot topic of debate, end quote, among the creative team. As the plans in place earlier yesterday, he was actually supposed to open the SmackDown broadcast. This is what they said, quote, that Solo Sikoa segment was a hot topic of debate within creative today. The original rundown this morning had Solo opening the show to address his loss to Roman, #SmackDown. Now, speaking of Jacob Fatu, his plans for Saturday night's main event have been revealed, in addition to Shawn Michaels. Now, after undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and current Winged Eagle Championship holder Kevin Owens couldn't agree to sign an amended contract for their championship ladder match at the Royal Rumble on SmackDown, General Manager Nick Aldis took matters into his own hands and arranged a contract signing at Saturday night's main event next weekend. After Rhodes charged to the ring to help Owens' opponent Rey Mysterio from taking a package piledriver following their match, Aldis confronted the champion backstage. Aldis said that since Rhodes and Owens couldn't follow simple instructions like signing a contract, the pair will relinquish their respective bouts at the NBC special to be suspended above the ring at the Rumble. He revealed that WWE Hall of Famer and San Antonio, Texas's own Shawn Michaels will be moderating the contract signing next Saturday in Texas. Also announced for Saturday night's main event was Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Strowman charged the ring following LA Knight to take out Fatu and Tama Tonga earlier on in the evening. That match is now set for NBC. Now, there's been a lot of controversy regarding Corey Graves and the commentary teams in WWE at the moment. Wade Barrett will fill in for Pat McAfee on commentary during Monday's WWE Raw. It was confirmed earlier this week that Pat McAfee would be unavailable for the show as he would be working the College Football Championship. Typically, Corey Graves would have been considered a frontrunner to stand in for McAfee, but after he recently took issue with his moving to WWE NXT, he was reportedly sent home ahead of this week's show and has yet to have been used by WWE in the meantime. As such, it was announced during Friday's SmackDown that Barrett will be filling the role on Monday, returning to the Red Brands booth for the first time since moving last year. Now, when it comes to Corey Graves and just what's going on with him, well, he's had an unusual start to 2025 to say the least, with the broadcaster being moved to NXT, making it very evident he wasn't pleased about it. Writing in Friday's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer offered up a full timeline of events along with some additional context from sources near Graves and within WWE. At one point last year, Graves was scheduled to begin 2025 by moving from his position on Raw over to SmackDown's commentary team. However, in the weeks leading up to the change, Graves was reportedly informed that Wade Barrett would call SmackDown alongside Joe Tessitore, with Graves being assigned to NXT. This led to Graves appearing annoyed during his NXT return before eventually firing off a series of social media posts expressing his dissatisfaction, causing many to wonder if it was all a WWE storyline. Meltzer thought the same at one point, but no longer believes that to be the case. Some within WWE believe Graves' social media posts were his attempt at getting fired from the company. However, sources close to the broadcaster claim that he was instead trying to blur the lines and generate fan interest. As a result of his posting, despite claiming he would have a lot to say on this week's NXT, Graves was instead told to head home rather than call Tuesday's show. Graves was also absent from Wednesday's WWE Speed stream after previously serving as the lone commentator for the web series. Meltzer report directly quoted one WWE anonymous source who stated that the situation with Graves was not part of a planned storyline as things unfolded. However, as always in the world of professional wrestling, there is a chance the two sides work things out and decide to turn it into a storyline. Now, Jade Cargill, how we got a bit of a development when it comes to the former one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Well, Naomi and Bianca Belair defeated Nia Jax and Candice LeRae on SmackDown, but the real story with the Women's Tag Team Champions is about what's happening outside of the ring. Prior to match, the champions were chatting backstage about whomever attacked Belair's other tag team partner, Jade Cargill. Naomi stated there were no leads on who the attacker is. Cargill later posted on social media simply asking, "You sure?" Cargill, of course, was brutally attacked on the SmackDown before Thanksgiving. She was shown laid out on her car windshield. In the interim, Belair and Naomi won the tag team titles. After Friday's match, commentary announced that the champions would be heading to NXT to defend their titles against Lash Legend and Dakara Jackson in Atlanta. On this week's episode of NXT, Legend and Jackson defeated the Unholy Union to become the number one contenders. The women of Metaphor are no strangers to the champions. When Belair and Cargill were champions, Legend and Jackson got involved in their match from the crowd and later participated in a four-way title match alongside Piper Niven and Chelsea Green and Damage Control at WWE Crown Jewel. Now, we saw Victoria, the former women's champion, last night on SmackDown. Former two-time WWE Women's Champion Victoria made her first appearance on WWE television since signing a Legends deal back in August of last year. She appeared ringside at SmackDown in San Diego, California, in a bedazzled WWE hat, and was shown on the air to the fans at home before WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio took on Kevin Owens. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to the Vince McMahon lawsuit involving former WWE employee Janelle Grant. Earlier this month, Vince McMahon reached a settlement with the SEC over improper reporting of hush money payments made related to sexual assault allegations during his time as a WWE executive. According to McMahon's public statement, the settlement marked the end of the investigation into the former CEO. However, the status of the Southern District of New York's federal investigation into McMahon is still unknown, and there is a civil case pending as well. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer provided an update on Janelle Grant's civil lawsuit against McMahon, WWE, and former executive John Laurinaitis, which has been on hold while the federal investigation played out. As of last month, the defendants had filed a motion to move the proceedings to private arbitration, arguing that Grant had a clause upon signing her non-disclosure agreement with McMahon. Meltzer report states that Grant's primary attorney, Ann Callis, recently filed a motion to the court regarding a potential new lawsuit. However, it's unclear whether this would be in place of the current civil suit or in addition to it, and it may not matter. Callis has reportedly asked for a status conference in the case, which would allow the judge and all involved attorneys to meet to discuss evidence, stipulations, or even a possible settlement. A new judge has been assigned to the civil suit after the initial judge stepped away for health reasons and recently passed away. Judge Sarah F. Russell will soon make a decision on whether or not the case moves to arbitration, with Grant's legal team being given until the end of January to file their response. Assuming no agreement is reached between the parties, Judge Russell would then decide if the civil case continues or moves to arbitration. Grant has accused McMahon of sexual assault and trafficking, with Laurinaitis involved directly and other WWE officials knowing at least some of what Grant alleges took place. And finally, a bit of an update here when it comes to the format of SmackDown. Since the beginning of 2025, SmackDown began airing for 3 hours on USA Network, marking it the first time the Blue brand has added an extra hour to their programming since the show debuted in 1999. However, shortly after the transition to 3 hours, WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque announced that SmackDown would be returning to a 2-hour program, but did not confirm when the change would take place. Dave Meltzer has now revealed in the Wrestling Observer newsletter when SmackDown is expected to return to its original runtime, and touched on the difference regarding commercial breaks between WWE programming on Netflix and Peacock. For SmackDown, there is not really a set date regarding the move back to 2 hours, although May or June is the current time frame, just past WrestleMania, with the idea they have more stuff to get across through WrestleMania. In the US on Netflix, if you started the live show late, you actually got it commercial free at least last week until you caught up with the live feed. And if you watched on a longer delay where you didn't catch up with the live feed, it was commercial free. On Peacock, not only do they add commercials for the replays that aren't there air live, but you can't fast forward through them. Raw reverted back to its usual 3-hour format at the beginning of this year after cutting the show down from an hour in October through December. That being said, it seems WWE has the opportunity to be more flexible with their runtime on Netflix, with this past Monday's Raw being 2.5 hours long, which Triple H reportedly believes is the sweet spot for the show, something he has said previously in other interviews. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.